I actually made his acquaintance because I was listening to radio, and here was this American who was so passionate with respect to illegal immigration and where it was taking the United States of America. He is quite the person, articulate, patriotic, and he is also no longer on the airwaves because that very same station went Spanish on him. As we get more folks coming in that speak Spanish, you will see changes happening in the community. Radio stations go Spanish. You can't get a job unless you do speak Spanish. And with that, let me introduce Mr. Amir Raheem.
Well, unfortunately, we got a little nasty weather. We're going to continue on this issue.
Well, I didn't expect to speak today, but Frank always wants to enlist me for that purpose, and of course I don't mind. I used to do a talk show, as he pointed out, so I don't mind running my mouth a little bit, but this particular issue obviously is one that's not going away, and as I see you folks standing here in the rain, I'm gratified to know that you're out there, you're continuing the struggle. This is going to be a very long struggle. It's not just a struggle against people, but we're also dealing with corporations, which I think is the driving force behind all that we're talking about here today. They're using people for the purpose of destabilizing this nation, and this is just an example of a few Americans that are out there. For those of you that are here and you look around and you see so few of us standing together, it's okay, because I want each one of you to take back this message to someone else. This is my country. This is my country. I don't mean mine separate from yours, but I take identity, I take ownership of this country. This is the place I plan on dying. I don't think I'm going anywhere else. I'm not going back to Africa. I'm not going to Ireland. Yeah, I got some roots in Ireland too, but I'm not going there. I could just see myself saying, hey, what's up, brother? I don't think they would really quite understand or be able to relate, but I can relate to each one of you. We've all paid some type of price, whether it's through slavery, whether it's through discrimination because of different ethnicity, different race. It doesn't matter. We have melded together as one nation, as Ted pointed out so eloquently. It's all about red, white, and blue.
Right.
I joined the service. My father was in the service. My sister, my brothers, my sons, all have served this country, and this is the country that I plan on serving. Frank also pointed out that I did not last on the radio station. I've been with that company about 12 years, and once this issue came up, I was asked quietly on the corporate level, you know, behind closed doors, to kind of tone it down a little bit, but I couldn't, and I won't. I have 10 grandchildren, and their future is at stake, 10 of them, the youngest being about 1 year old, and their future is at stake. And just as my future was at stake, before I was born, there were people that fought for me, and I plan on fighting for them, each one of them. Irrespective of race, creed, or color, that's not the issue. It's about my country. It's about your country. It's about our country. That we must stop this whole corporate, globalist type agenda that is about destabilizing nations for the dollar, for the money, whether it's a barrel or the franc or whatever they want to call it. It doesn't really much matter. It's about money that we're seeing this destabilization in our nation. I'm so proud to stand with you. I'm proud to be out here in the rain. This couldn't be any more eloquent than what we're struggling against in the face of rain and in the face of opposition. I've been called names, as many of you that have stood your ground have been called. I've been called a racist. I can't quite understand the philosophy behind that one, but in fact that is what I've been called. It's about legality versus illegality. Frank knows very well that's been my position from the beginning. It'll be my position to the end. Just like I can't go across the street to that Asian garden buffet and break out the windows. I'm sure there are a couple of sheriffs somewhere around here that would prevent me from doing any more damage, because that's an illegal activity. I ask, as you ask, that our government stand up, do its job, just as they would against either one of us out here today. If any one of us did something against the law, there would be someone in place to put us right here in this jail that stands behind me right now. I'm not afraid of that, because I don't plan on doing anything illegally. By the way, what happened to the opposition? Does anybody know where they went? Was it the rain? Maybe if there's no real spine behind the spirit of what they say.
That's it, no
you
spine.
See people stand in the rain, flags waving, getting wet, drenched just like I am, and just like each of you. That says a lot, and that makes a testament to who each of you are. So please take away with you today this message. The message being that we must stand as one, regardless of who you are, if you want to have what it is you enjoy today. It doesn't matter if your words are not heeded. It doesn't matter if people call you names. Go to the next person and tell them the same thing. Tell your children and tell your grandchildren what this struggle is about. Because we are just the beginning of it. We're just the beginning of the opposition to this particular drama that's trying to take our country from us. This is the beginning phases of it. Right now, what is going on is a bloodless revolution. That's right. A revolution is taking place in America today. It's bloodless. No guns aren't being fired. But guns are being fired in the halls in that place called Washington, D.C. That is where war takes place. It's a war of words. And we're the recipients, or maybe I should say we're the lack of recipients of that justice. We're not getting it. I appreciate each one of you for coming out today. As many of you I don't know, some of you are familiar faces, but I'm glad to see that people are still out here in this struggle. So please, whatever you do, don't give up the fight. Stand for something. That's the only reason you can stand for anything, because you stand for something. Continue to do that in spite of this opposition, in spite of the rain, in spite of the snow, whatever it may be. That's what made this country for people that were strong and stood up to the opposition. Please keep doing what you're doing. Thank you all for coming out today.
I don't want to